Hello everybody and welcome to Godus. This is a game where, if you couldn't figure out from its name, you play as a god that leads a civilization through the ages, starting with the primitive age. And I was originally, for a while, I've been thinking about doing a series on this video, but the only problem is there's only one save file in the current build because this is a early access game. And essentially what happened was my civilization was pretty far along then, which to me I couldn't do a proper video because I wanted to do a series of this. But then lo and behold, our power went out a couple days ago for like 2 seconds. Not long, but long enough for some reason to cause a corrupt on my save file on this. So my 3,000 to 4,000, last I checked, civilization was completely gone. It was if God himself didn't like how I was running things, so he decided to end my little civilization here. So anyways, I'm not sure if I'll edit these videos or not. You'll find out soon when watching this if they are edited. Good chance they will be, because these earlier videos will probably be a bit more slower, since the game is pretty slow in the very beginning because you only can do so much because you're weak. So anyways, I will talk more about the game as we progress. And anyways, let's save these people before they drown. There we go. As you can see, they're pointed to me. Your followers are safe. They now see you as their god. So basically, this couple right here is basically your Adam and Eve. Build land. Yes, they are looking for a place to settle, a promised land. Alright. The primary method of interacting with your world is you, of course, alter the terrain, which, of course, allows your followers to settle down and build more. I know it says click and drag, but I use the WASD keys almost exclusively. And then Q and R, or Q and E, are the rotate buttons. Stuck again. Get rid of you, get rid of you. Yeah, I know where they are. Alright. Shut up, I know where they are. They're right there. I know that. Alright. Dum-da-dum-da-dum. There we go. This place isn't right. It's too ugly for a promised land. Your poor followers are running out of options. Here we go. Haha. I know how to follow them. Gosh. Here we are, our promised land. This looks promising. Your followers love this land. Hooray. So part of this is also talk about some tips and some tactics that I have learned for playing with this. Like, I'll talk about some of the stuff as it comes up. For example, you can move rocks. There we go. It's basically a plot of land they can build a house on, so now they're building a house. Like I said, this is the primitive age, so it's going to be just a tent. Well, let me... And there we have it. The very first house of your civilization. Yep. Alright. So now we're going to clear this stuff out. This is a builder, and essentially what they do is they are the ones that build more houses and more structures, and they also repair shrines and beacons, which is what this is here, and we'll get to that pretty shortly. Well, let me... This faded pip shows builder is a way working. Let's click this stuff while we're at it. Alright. So now we're going to create more plots for our followers to build on. Also, you can get rid of trees, too. Also, I wanted to point out, this is actually a later build of an early access. In the early version of the build, I could kind of show you right now, you had to do it like this. You had to click on it. Doesn't want to let you do that right now, but... And you had to do that for everything. The early build of this was very click-heavy, and was prone to break your mouse if it wasn't built very well. Sculpt more land. Alright. So the faded bar is, it doesn't tell you this, but the faded bar is your potential max population, whereas the solid bar is your current population. So what we need to do is get to a population of 10. Give it to you. Also, if you also play this game, you will probably, by default, it will have the developer's commentary set up. It's basically, you're hearing Peter Molyneux, and if you don't know who Peter Molyneux is, then you're not that into video gaming as much as you think you are, because this is he's one of those well-known game developers, similar to Sid Meier. Alright, there we go. New Age shelters. Hooray. Stickers hide in chests. Alright, click to open. So this is our timeline, basically. Essentially, it's a series of upgrades and more stuff to build and so forth. So each item has a certain requirement you need to meet before you can unlock it, and you can only unlock it once you've unlocked the one prior to this. Yeah, I'm going to tell them about that later. Okay. So basically, because if you drag and drop, it'll be unlock the abodes. Now you'll notice it took a bit longer. Basically, each new building that you unlock will take progressively longer and longer and longer to build. So, for example, these short little houses that hold about 2 or 3... I want to say it's like 3 people. Could be built in about 30 seconds, whereas you could build mansions that literally take several hours. What I'm showing you right here is basically is territory you have no influence over. So as you grow, you'll be able to expand your influence, your area of influence. So right now I can't do jack shit in any of this because I have no influence over here, and that's what the beacons are for. Alright. Alright. Restore ruins. This is one you'll be using a lot. Yeah, like I said before, a lot of this early part of the game is very slow, but once you get all these upgrades and stuff gets built pretty quickly. Alright. See, now we have our potential population of 24, so once all these fill up, we will have our 24 population. We get our next card. But let's unlock this first. Let's see what happens. Alright. So basically by activating the beacon, we now have a lot more land to work with here, which is awesome. Oh, another sticker. Alright. Now let's find out where a new card is. Okay, Power of Prayer. Now this one is very important because belief is your primary resource for doing things basically. So now all of a sudden you'll notice I get belief for building rocks. Or destroying rocks. You can now sculpt grass. Let's build some more while we wait. Alright. The Pit of Doom. Oh, yes. I will tell you about this thing a bit more once I get ready to build it, but this thing is fantastic. I will show you what it does in a bit. First, we need to build more abodes. Go to you, go to you, go to you. What have rocks ever done for us? Okay. Another chest, alright. Next card, Settle on Grass. Alright. Oh, and if you haven't figured it out, each progressive card will cost more and more items to do it, except for God powers. So, for example, this one right here, Meteor Strikes, I need a population of 500 to unlock it, but once I unlock it, I have it. So it's weird. For powers by themselves, like Beautify, Swamps, Meteor Strikes are unlocked automatically. But this right here, Longer Leash, I'll show you the leash once we get to it. It actually is an upgrade. So for upgrades, you need to invest. So for example, this one right here is 3 times stronger sculpting. I've went a long time in the game without needing to unlock this one because you would think it actually increases your efficiency with using belief, but it does not. It just allows you to sculpt faster, not more efficiently. So now, our followers can settle up in here. You'll notice some plots have already become unlocked for us, which is fantastic. Yes, essentially, in a nutshell, your belief is your primary resource for using your power. So whenever you use a power or you sculpt terrain, you will use belief. Flip some more rocks for some more belief. For some reason, I always found it kind of a weird gimmick where removing rocks and trees gave you belief. Never understood why. Well, I'm sure there's a reason, but in the end, it's like in the ender parts of the game, it's like you're gonna be drowning in so much belief, like the rocks and trees are gonna be nothing by comparison to how much you're making. Go out and build. All right. But in the I can see in the early phases of the game being very useful. Oh, we have a new card already. Living Society. So now that we have that, our followers will actually openly interact with each other, and no. I don't want to build a house up there because I might want to remove this for more sand abodes later. Like I said before, higher quality housing requires more time to build, but I could also have more people build this. But do I have any followers within reach? Nope, and I do not have the leash ability yet, so I can't do anything about... Oh, man. Yeah, I don't want you building there. Go back. Be prepared to make a lot of mistakes, but fortunately, one of the powers... Where is it? I know it's pretty early on. Ah, the Finger of God will allow you to fix that. It's basically your, oh, I screwed up jewel. Yeah, I'm prepared to do. I'm doing that right now. It's almost done. Sweet. Yes, I mentioned earlier that it costs belief to sculpt, but the exception to that rule is sand. It does not cost you belief to sculpt sand. Alright. Hooray, we have the Pit of Doom. Alright, I'm going to skip through all that. Okay, in a nutshell, what the Pit of Doom is you can use it to sacrifice your followers for gems. So, for example, this is the gem shop. So we have a lot. For right now, we just have stickers and belief. But once you unlock one of your other abilities, is Divine Gifts, you could use your gems for that too. And that's what I've used them mostly for. But also, this is all... Hang on. Yeah. There we go. Anyways, so for example, it says follower sacrifice, gems gained, 0. So essentially, it's 1 follower per gem. But occasionally, at random, you may get 2 or 3 per follower. I've seen 3 happen a couple times, and then on happiness. So that's what this bar means. This is how happy in general your civilization is. Yeah. And this will play a big part in I wouldn't say a bit, maybe the next couple episodes you'll see this finally take effect. But for the early parts of the game, there's no real need to sacrifice your followers unless you really want to progress quickly. Because that's one thing that gems are fantastic for, is you could instantly progress very, very quickly if you have a lot of them. He's going to build that. And see how much time... See, here we go. Finish now. And then finish now. And that's basically how you could use your gems, and it'll be progressive for bigger buildings. Alright. Plot is too far away for your follower to see. Basically, the leash is just your mind controlling your subjects, I mean followers. Your minions. Yep. See, now that we have the leash, we can now, of course, influence our followers to build. This whole tutorial is pretty pointless. I already know how to do all of this. And I'll probably just cut this part out anyways.
Build 'em. Build 'em. Build 'em. Complete 'em.
Now, the game is telling me to repair the dock, but for a while I just ignore it because... Oh yes, and some of these chests do contain gems. I forgot about that. That just reminded me. Is there a chest in there? Yes, there is. Oh, another thing to keep in mind, these chests, even though they're random for what they contain, they do respawn. And for the most part, they won't respawn in places that you can't get to. Like, for example, it's not going to respawn under this layer here, which would force me to evict all these people in order to get to it. It's not going to do that. At least, it hasn't happened to me. Yeah, I'm not going to repair that yet. The game wants me to leash people to build that, but I'm not going to do that later. I'll probably start voyages in the second episode. Let's get more stuff for people to build on. Oh, there's our chest. What do you know? But we will use our leash power. Now, leashing costs 100 belief per follower, so in the early phases of the game, you need to be very careful on where you choose for them to spawn, for them to go, because you want to get the most out of it in the early parts of the game. Eventually, you'll have tons and tons of belief at your disposal, so it's alright if you make a mistake at that point. But here, you want at the early phages, you want to be very careful. Once you get to about 1,000 for your population, and that will take a while, you will have so much belief you won't know what to do with it. You start messing around, goofing off with your powers, and it's fun. And I think it's starting to get around to the 20-minute mark, so what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and end this video here, and we'll see you next time. If you want to keep watching this, just like and subscribe, or leave a suggestion in the comments. If you want to see me do a video of other games, feel free to do that. And anyways, see you until later.